Teaching English to Adolescents and Adults. Unit 3, Task 5, Materials and Lesson Planning. Submitted by Maria Angelica Manrique. Submitted to Diana Constanza Cruz. One of the biggest tools that a teacher can have is the lesson plan. Can you imagine a class without a guide? Can you imagine a class without a plan to follow? The lesson plan is a detailed step-by-step tool that guides the teacher in order to have a very successful class. Lesson planning also outlines the teacher objectives and allows them to recognize students' progress or learning difficulties. The lesson plan also includes the goal, that is, what the students are supposed to learn, how the goal will be reached, like the method or the procedure, and the way of measuring how well the goal was reached, for example, following a worksheet or a homework. Now I'm going to show you the plan that was created for adolescents. So as I told you before, this lesson plan was created for adolescents. The level is 8.2 and the learning strategy is the use of technology in order to garner motivation and student interest. Also, we are going to work in a collaborative way and communicative approach. The topic is the farm and the grammar that we are going to learn is the present simple. The activity objectives are identify common features of modern farm life, compare different methods of farming, and discuss environmental issues facing farmers. Now I'm going to begin with the class description. The first step is the warm-up, in which students are going to read a book that is called Who Grows Up on the Farm. This book is on the UNO International online platform. The second step is the presentation, in which teacher is going to show students a video about a day at the farm. The idea of using this video is that students get to know some details of a day in the farm and also to encourage them to make questions. Just after the presentation comes the practice. So here, students are going to work by the collaborative way by groups of 3 or maximum 4. You have to bear in mind that in a collaborative group, there can be more than 5 students. So by groups, they are going to select an animal and they are going to write information about the products that come from this animal, the name of its offsprings, and what does it eat. Students are going to create a poster, a very creative poster using some cardboards, markers, or pictures if they have to. Then comes the production, in which students are going to make a presentation about their posters. At the same time, teacher is going to make some questions and also they're going to socialize information. Finally, the materials that are going to be used in this class are, for teacher must have a computer and a video in order to show students the videos and the book that they're going to read. And for students, they are going to use their notebooks, their cardboards, markers, colors, and tape if it's needed. And finally, as homework, students are going to listen an audio about farming in the United States and answer the following questions. So the first question is, what do the farm from northeast and northwest produce? Second question, what do farmers from the south and southeast grow? And finally, the last question, what does California grow? The audio is going to be sent by email for each student or by the Cibercolegios platform. So this is the lesson planning for adolescents. The idea is to use the communicative approach. The idea is not to focus on grammar. Nowadays, it's much better to learn English trying to speak and not focusing on the grammar part. And now it's time to show you the lesson plan for adults. So this lesson plan has been created for adults. Their level is 8.1 and the learning strategy that we are going to use is the communicative approach and the collaborative work. The topic is personal information. And the activity objectives are communicative in an active way, giving and asking for personal information. Use present simple to speak about personal information. So for the warm up, this time I have decided to use a song that is called Treat You Better. Students are going to listen to the song and try to sing the song. Why do I like to use songs? Because it is the best way to engage students with the class. Then we are going to have the presentation. The teacher is going to introduce herself, telling students some personal information. Teacher is going to use the board and markers if it is necessary in order to let students understand. She or he is going to use information like her name, her address, her telephone, her favorite music, or something like that. Now comes the practice. So teacher is going to help students to create some basic questions about personal information, such as what's your name, where do you live, how old are you, what's your favorite color, and students are going to write the questions on their notebooks. Um, for this activity, teacher is going to use the board and some markers. So in order to let students produce, they are going to work by groups, collaborative group, and the students are going to record a video presenting a role playing in a situation in which they have to present themselves and make some questions about personal information. They are going to use their cell phones or they are going to use their iPads or tablets in order to record this video. For this activity, they are going to have like 30 minutes. The materials, like as I told you before, are the board, the markers, a video bin, a computer, and cell phones or iPads or tablets. As a homework or assessment, students are going to write a description of themselves on a black sheet in order to be handed it. Bear in mind that the lesson plan is a very useful tool that you as a teacher must use. The lesson plan it's going to allow you to reach your goals and also students' goals. Thanks so much.